Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Our guest tonight is a talented voice actor who recently made history as he became the first Black actor to voice legendary Transformers role. Please help me welcome back to the show, Xavier Paul Cadeau. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you much, Stephen. You are the bomb, sir. I totally appreciate it.
Oh, no, please, that's you. You're the one doing big things these days. Well, you've been doing big things for a while. I mean, you have this career where you've been on what? You've done voiceover work for Live with Kelly and Ryan. You've done Dead End shows on the Cartoon Network. I mean, you've done a lot of things, Remind me how you got started in this industry.
So it didn't start in the late 2000s. Actually, it started a little bit earlier. It started to pick up traction in the late 2000s. Okay. And I would say that things really had their genesis in the early 2000s, back when Black comedy on television was everywhere. You'd turn on television and you'd see Living Color and Uptown Comedy Club and Apollo Comedy Hour. And then it seemed like after 9/11, we all disappeared. Right. And they couldn't find us. Remember when they couldn't find us? They were like,
right,
oh, we couldn't find us. Black folks, but we don't know where they are.
Right. Exactly.
I was part of that lost tribe going, well, I don't know where I am either. I seem to be somewhere, but where could that be? Right. Anyway, there was quite a bit of diversity going on, I think, in television and in my career as well. Stand-up comedy and voiceover, acting as an on-camera actor, all these things came together, you know? And I think diversity is a pretty popular topic now. I mean, to be crystal clear, and I want to be absolutely clear when we start talking about the Transformers franchise, they have absolutely hired Black actors before, actually several, to voice their many different roles. Scatman Carruthers, to name a few, to voice the role of Jazz in many earlier G1 iterations, right? Actually, the G1 series, Scatman Carruthers on the television series. And then later on in the feature film live actions, people like Darius McCrary also, you know, Jazz. Yet with my particular character, which hasn't really been seen much since the G1 series, a character by the name of Dead End, was a character that didn't really get much attention. He was kind of part of a group of Decepticons that really, you know, he was a cynical character, but they gave me the opportunity to really develop him. And I think it's just great that I can be a part of this new discussion where, you know, we're getting diverse roles in animation, because we're hearing a lot about that discussion. And I just really want Transformers and Hasbro a big thumbs up for doing some great things, continuing to do great things.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, you're talking about that. We've seen a lot of animated shows that did receive some pushback because they had white characters portraying people of color. And so we've seen some people step down from those roles, and they had to do some recasting. What do you think about that? Is it? I don't guess it's too late, but do you think it's about time that they're diversifying those voice actors?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, better late than never, I always say. That's actually one of my sayings. My agent hates that, because let's just try not being late at all. Although, you know, it's got to start somewhere, right? And I think it's important for us to be reminded that this is the beginning, and it's up to us to take it from here. It's the reason why I'm starting my media company back up again. First quarter 2022, we're going to be doing animation, commercial production, voiceover production for businesses, all media, whether it's commercial, whether it's syndicated shows. That's my way of being part of the solution, creating the opportunities in front of and behind the camera, right?
And why do you think I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No, sorry about that. No, I was just saying that's important, because the more that opens itself up, I think we're going to start to see a decided shift, because I think what happens with on-camera performers is we think, well, there's not a diverse behind-the-scenes team. And that's not always true. Many times it's a weird flip-flop. It's the camera behind. What we see behind the scenes is diverse, and what's in front of the camera isn't. or what's
Yeah.
in front of the camera is diverse and what's behind the scenes isn't. So I'm looking for a little more consistency.
Mm. And I think I read somewhere you said that you think the reason why some of the diversity hasn't happened sooner is because of the training that voice actors get. You know, white voice actors versus black and brown voice actors. Talk about that.
Oh, Stephen, I so appreciate you bringing that up, man. Because we talked about a couple of things when you were in New York. That brief time you came to New York, and it would be great if you could come to New York again.
I
Because
know
we
I
have
need to
a
come
lot
back.
to do. And one of the things we talked about were some of your plans on creating programming and how the challenge is how to create programming that's a fit for our demographic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the same thing when it comes to training. There's a certain cultural or ethnic sensitivity or cultural sensitivity. I only think of the story that I like to tell about meeting Morgan Freeman for the first time working on the movie Lean on Me. So I was an acting student at the time, and I was, learning acting. And, you have an experience in acting class, but to go on a film set and watch Morgan Freeman work was the best acting class you could ever take. I mean, you couldn't pay for an acting class of that quality.
Mm-hmm.
So to watch him all day, 16 hours, and literally watch the craft at work was that cultural piece that I'm talking about. I related to him. He knows what I'm going through. He's been where I have been. And I can look at him and go, I can go where he is if I put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that cultural connect. I think, a lot of these schools are Eurocentric, Yale or Juilliard, great schools, fantastic, phenomenal schools. So many times I hear the students saying, I'm missing something. Can you come and speak? And then, or can you come and speak? Or can Debbie Allen come and speak?
Right.
Or can someone we relate to talk to us and talk us through this experience? We're spending a lot of money. And we need to know, how do you create a career? How do you create a career as a person of color in any business?
Right.
In any
sustain
you're
it.
Black-owned business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. How you create it, how you sustain it.
Yes, indeed. Now, there are a couple of different areas now. There are a lot of different areas you can delve into. There's the acting training, there's the voice training, there's speech, there's dance, there's movement. I'm focusing more on the voice, speech, voice acting, and acting as an advanced tool, particularly for performers that are working video games, green screens, whether it's voiceover or any acting genre where it requires a tremendous amount of imagination to create characters. As a voiceover artist, your scene partner is a foam wall and a microphone.
Yeah.
You've got to, video games there, it's a green screen that's 100 feet high and there's nothing there but you, maybe a costume, maybe, and steel scaffolding, and you have to pretend that that's a mountain or something, so that takes some training, and I'm looking to begin to provide that. I'm not training mocap yet, but I am training voice actors, video game voice actors, animation for all media, including video game and animation.
Nice. Congratulations on that. Now, I have to mention, you did have a chance to work alongside the late Michael K. Williams on the HBO series The Night Of. How was it like working with him? What do we remember from him?
Wow. Well, Michael K. was a very dedicated. He had an energy, and I still feel it. I think he's still doing his work. He's just in a different dimension now.
Yeah.
The work was, well, exactly that for him. It was his dedication radiated the minute he stepped on the set. And it's that, I think it goes back to what we were talking about before, that cultural connect, because I take a look at the history of Michael K. Williams in terms of his training and career, and what I see is tremendous diverse experiences working with all kinds of great TV shows and Black film directors, and he was really a cultivated talent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And very down to earth. And on that show, Steve Zalian was the director, and that was exciting. He had co-wrote a lot of major feature films, Schindler's List being one of them. He worked with Steven Spielberg. He's done a lot of different things. So I felt like I was in the company of a lot of very vetted performers.
Yeah.
And we got to share a lot of great experiences together.
Absolutely. When you go back at your career thus far, what you've accomplished, do you pinch yourself sometimes?
Do I? Well, Stephen, it's sort of like I could ask you the same question because, this is what we do. We're in our element. And do you ever look back and go, I can't believe I did so many episodes?
Yes. But I know what you mean. When you're doing it all the time. Yeah. When you're
in the
doing it all
moment.
the time, you're not sitting there thinking, oh, I did that. I did that. I did that. You're just going through it and trying to get better and do your best.
Just another day.
Yeah. No, so I definitely get that.
Now,
do you ever look back and
you hit the 10,000 mark. You've probably interviewed how many?
I don't even know at this point. But do you ever look back and say, wow, I did this. I accomplished this. Thinking back from when you first started out, on those sets, and then now you're the man. You're doing your thing.
Well, I get what you're saying. I get what you're asking. If I look back, I try to keep a perspective,
Right.
and I'm looking back, and maybe in a very internal way, if that makes sense. I'm thinking, I'm always strategizing. I'm thinking, okay, I know I've put in this amount of effort, this amount of commitment, this amount of focus, and created this result. Okay, that compared to where things were at this point in the timeline.
Yeah.
Okay, now I see, based on that, there are possibilities that are open from this point forward. And I think with this new world situation, I like to say that everybody knows what I'm talking about. People are regrouping and reassessing. But I'd like to believe that we should be regrouping and reassessing regardless.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that. So we know you have the media company coming back in 2022. What else are you working on that you can share?
Wow. Let's see. Doing a tremendous amount of writing. And collaborating with songwriters, spoken word artists,
nice,
and producers in the EDM and hip hop, pop, R&B genres, and or what would be called alternative. But it's really that fusion between EDM, hip hop, where electronica and progressive hip hop, which I think is going to be interesting and new and fresh. I think what we're hearing now is a lot of hip hop in response to the industries that patronize its sound and benefit off of the culture that it's connected to, i.e., sports. But I really would love to create a project that deals with the intersection of sports and hip hop. And I believe I created some things in that vein, podcast as well as interview programming. Okay, and the music is a tie-in to that. So I'm always kind of thinking of what's a hot show. I'm always thinking of, I guess maybe I'd like to think that I've got sort of that Clive Davis, hit song. What do you call it? Compulsion. It's just like I want to hear what would a hit song? What could that be a hit? Like where's the next hit? Where's the next thing that could be interested in? My mind is I'm an artist, yet I'm also thinking about what would be catchy.
Right. Absolutely.
Do you ever do that?
Yeah, you do, especially like in great music, you do, because you want to, for me, it's always trying to find something that's not so trendy, but can stand the test of time and still be current. And that's always a challenge. That's always a challenge.
It's tough. And I wish that we could hear more. We're in this retro phase now, but I'd love to. And the Clubhouse app has been very helpful with that. I mean, that's probably one of the things that you hear I'm up to this, spending too much time on the Clubhouse app, honestly. But if you're on there, please look me up. And are you on there, by the way? I'm interviewing the interviewer, but
I am on there, but I don't know the last time I've been logged on there.
Okay, you've got to do a simulcast on there.
Yeah, I do.
I think it would be great.
Yeah.
Because I think people would be really interested. My point is that there are a ton of entertainers and people, and in our off time, we'll jump in a Clubhouse room and brainstorm.
That's true. Yeah, I've been on some of the calls, and it's a lot of great minds out there. You know what I mean? Most definitely. Well, how can everyone keep up with everything you have going on?
Well, thanks for asking. Very simple. Go to the website. It's Xavier xaviergreatvoice.com. Newly launched. I had to launch it before going to the Comic-Con in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I said, I might have to show up at a convention with no website. Get that thing.
Right.
He's like, hi, you're a total stranger. Want to stay in touch? Here's my home number. No, that might not work. So www, of course, XAVIERGREATVOICE, XavierGreatVoice.com. Everything's on there. Where I'll be next. Classes, coaching, all that good stuff. Everything. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Xavier, our thanks goes out to you for joining us tonight, and continued success. And congratulations again for this history-making role that you have with Transformers, and just keep in touch with us. Let us know what's going on, because you're doing very much talk to us, something big things going, and I love it.
Okay.
I love to see it.
I'm glad you remember the last time you interviewed me. I hope you didn't forget me.
Yeah, I remember. Yes, absolutely.
Remember that? All right.
I remember.
Yeah. I think I was the first guy to do Head and Shoulders. Well, of awesome. The black Head and Shoulders voice.
Right.
That campaign didn't last too long. They were like, black folks were like, we ain't using no Head and Shoulders. Get out. So, but I'm trying to let you see me out here rocking and rolling, and continued success to you, Steve. Really, really a pleasure to see you and chat with you again. And can I send some of my friends that are doing cool things your way as well?
Absolutely. Send them our way.
All right, will do.
All right. For more information about Xavier, go to our website, thestephennightshow.com, and we'll be right back after this.